Hello, Dr. Kelly here. I was asked, what do you report when you're describing your data set, the mean or the median? And this is a challenging question for students that are starting to learn statistics, whether it's for the social sciences or in other areas. That's because our data sets tend to be messy. They don't tend to look like the beautiful theoretical distributions that we might be shown in class or in our textbooks. In psychology, when we go out and collect a sample, it might be of only 25 people, and that's rarely going to give you a beautiful theoretical distribution. But to state what you most likely learned in class, you share the mean if the distribution is normal, and if the distribution is skewed, or if it has an outlier, you share the median. And should there be several modes of distribution, you would share the mode. All right, let's go and take a look at some different data sets where our sample is size 25. We're looking at a parent population that is normally distributed, and by that I mean that the highest frequency is in the middle. It is symmetrical. The left and the right are mirror images of each other. And as you go to the left and to the right, the frequency of the values decreases. I'm going to go ahead and randomly sample 25 individuals from this beautifully normal distribution. As you can see, our sample does not look like a beautiful normal distribution. It really looks like a mess, like someone just dropped a bunch of stuff on the floor. And that is what your data is typically going to look like. Again, we sampled from this normal distribution, but with only 25 people, our sample isn't going to look very much like a normal distribution itself. So if you're looking at a distribution where it's really spread out, then the value that you're most likely end up reporting will be the mean. Here you might be concerned whether you should report the mean or the median. After you look at the histogram, if there is doubt whether to report the mean or median, take a look at your actual values. What is the value of the mean that you calculated or used a statistical program to find out? What is the value of the median? If they're dissimilar, if there's a large difference between the two, and you're looking at something where it indicates that there might be an outlier, then the median is the right value to report. So the median is reported if there's an outlier or if the distribution is skewed. And so again, you look at your histogram, and if there's doubt in your mind, and this raises some doubt, then look at your value of your mean and median and see if they're dissimilar. If they're fairly dissimilar, then you'd go ahead and report the median. You'd also want to tell your reader that the distribution contained an outlier, and that's why you chose to report the median. But just because there's gaps doesn't mean that there's an outlier. In this case, there's enough togetherness, if you will, of the distribution that you're going to still stick with the mean. Really, you should report the mean unless there's strong and compelling reason not to. Okay, so here's a skewed distribution, and I'm going to make this distribution even more skewed. Because with a sample of only 25, it's really hard to know what the parent population looks like. There we go. Here we have a case where the data is strongly clumped together and there's these outliers over here. In that case, again, we would want to look at our values of the mean and median. If they're dissimilar, go ahead and report the median. Again, we have our data clumped together, if you will, a wide gap, and then this one value all by itself. Again, another good reason to report the median. Here we have the data clumped up, and we do see evidence for a tail for a positively skewed distribution. So again, we'd report the median. So hopefully this short demonstration has made something clear to you. It's hard to make this decision. Our data that we're going to see, it's going to be messy, especially with only a sample size of 25. We're going to report the mean unless there's clear and obvious reason not to. If there is that clear and obvious reason not to, and we see it, there is an actual difference between the mean and median, then we'll go ahead and report the median, and we'll let our reader know whether it was because it was an outlier or if because that sample distribution appeared to be either positively skewed or negatively skewed.